Hi, what's up? I'm Mike Wiebe, and I'm sitting here in my house, my house in Austin, Texas. It's the first day that it's gotten cold in Texas this winter. It's December 10th. And how are you? Um, my first contact. When was my first contact with music? My first contact with music, like I didn't grow up in a family that was particularly into music. Like we didn't. Nobody in my family played music. So it was something that wasn't of too much importance. I remember my dad liked a country band called Alabama. They had a song called All the Gold in California is in a bank in the middle of Beverly Hills in somebody else's name. And that was listened to a lot, but there wasn't definitely not any kind of rock music other than maybe the Beach Boys. Um, so it wasn't anything that I was around a lot. And then I think just in grade school when kids started getting into rock music, I found out about that and the Beastie Boys and kind of whatever was kind of popular at the time, because I didn't have like an older brother or anything to teach me about underground music. And then when I found out, I don't even know how, but kind of randomly found out about punk music, it just kind of was kind of taken with it, and and kind of embraced it. And then that led me to find out about lots of other forms of music that aren't necessarily top 40. Um, and I don't know. From there, something got hooked in me in performing a few years later. Um, what bands influenced music the most and why? I think, well, for the Riverboat Gamblers, I think the band that we kind of decided that we wanted to kind of base our sound around originally was a band from New York called the Dictators, who were around the same time. I don't know who started first, but they were around right around the same time as the Ramones, and they were kind of they kind of did rock and roll alongside of punk rock, and it was somehow in the middle of the two. Um, I don't know, for whatever reason. I think like when we first started the band in the late '90s, we were just kind of wanted to do something a little bit different, that was a little bit more rootsier than a lot of the pop punk that was at the time, but we still wanted to play punk music. So I think the Dictators were a big one, and for me, when I always wanted to have guitars that sounded like Rocket from the Crypt. It was another band that really kind of dug into. But I think for each individual member of the band, they kind of have an idea of a different band that they kind of bring into the Gamblers. And that was right when we started. And since then, I think we probably pull a lot of more. That's not proper grammar. A lot more influences from just all over the place. If you were to turn on my iPod right now, the 5 artists and songs that I recently have been playing. Recently, I'm really into this rapper named Danny Brown, who's really dark and dirty and clever. I play that a lot. There's a band called the Holograms from Sweden that I've been really into. There's a band called the Cloud Nothings that are kind of an indie rock band that are really cool. What else have I been listening to? This band called Treasure Fleet. Some of the guys from the Arrivals. That's a really, really good one. Let me think of a number 5 that's been on rotation. I don't know. I can't. There's probably so much. Hold on. Let me look in iTunes real quick. Hey iTunes, Yep, Danny Brown. I listen to a lot of comedy. Uh, there's Andy Ritchie, a comedian. I've been listening to his CD a bunch. We got some Dead to Me on there. Let's see here. Oh, the Fleshlights. Oh, this band called Heavy Times are really cool. JJ Doom, that's a rapper. MF Doom. The Mind Spiders. Fresh Kills. There's a bunch of Otis Redding on here. Yeah, so, it changes quite a bit, though. Let's see here. I feel like a ghost just did that. I had a thing of pills just fell from the ceiling. Our last album is called The Wolf You Feed, not The Wolf That You Feed. I should know it's my record, but The Wolf You Feed, and my two favorite songs. Well, they're all my babies. I don't want to neglect any of my children. I don't know. I'm really proud of the whole record. I think it's the best one we ever did as a whole, and I don't know. I really like. There's a song called Gallows Bird that I like. It's kind of like the slowest, darkest thing we've ever done, and I really like that one. There's a song called Eviction Notice. It's kind of a really poppy. Doesn't really sound like a Riverboat Gambler's song. I'm really proud of that. Comedians, I'm happy with. And then I like the Rockers a lot too. I don't want to neglect. I don't want to throw out my babies. I love them. They're my little babies. The biggest challenge we've had I think it's the same challenge that probably any band has, and that's just trying to make a living in a really tough time to try and make a living. It's hard. It's hard to make money off music. Like, most people get their music for free. There's so many bands. I think the amount of people that are going out to live shows has got to be a lot smaller than it's ever been. Not just for us, but I work in clubs, and it's just there's a smaller and smaller pool of people that want to get out and see, and it's just tough. It's tough to make money. I think that's always the biggest challenge as a band. And then for us personally, I think we're a little bit of a rock band and a little bit of a punk band and a little bit of a pop band, and we don't always necessarily fit a certain genre, so sometimes it's tougher for us to, I don't know, maybe not, maybe that's not a problem, maybe that's what has made us successful. What in the fuck? Oh, I think maybe I'm shaking. Anyway, the relationship between Volcom Entertainment and the band started. We decided, we reached out to them, years and years ago now, like 8 years ago, and maybe longer. We were like, we'd like you to come out and watch us, because maybe you'll give us some free pants or a free shirt. And then they came out and they liked the show, and it's been a long working relationship ever since. A lot of good stuff, and they've been very supportive, and we've shared a lot of successes and a few failures together, but mostly successes. And it's been a good run. Alex's Bar in Long Beach is where we met those guys years and years ago. Tell us something about me. Tell you guys something about me that you don't know. God, I don't know. It's a lot of it's laid out there. I don't know. It's clear that I should have shaved for this. I'm allergic to tomatoes. A lot of people don't know that. It's pretty hard-hitting stuff there, Mike. If I could have dinner with any three people, living or dead, who would they be? Wow, that is tough. You know, I would love to meet. I would love to meet James Brown. I would love to have a dinner with him. I think being around him would be amazing. Maybe Mick Jagger. That would be cool to meet him. Quentin Tarantino. I'm a big fan of his movies, and I'd like to pick his brain about a million different things. I don't know, but that's off the top of my head. There's probably somebody better. A lot of people would have said Jesus, but hey, guess what? I don't speak Aramaic, so it would be a very one-sided conversation. Although, free wine, that'd be pretty cool. But then, you get that wine headache, and it's just, nobody needs that. Describe Mike Wiebe's sound and vibe in 3 words. Ooh, this is eating carrots. Those aren't the 3 words. Sound and vibe in 3 words. And I didn't make this up about myself. Somebody else said this about me, but they described my vibe. This is less my sound, more my vibe. Late for school. I look like I'm always late for school. And that's pretty accurate. Is there a special Mike Wiebe's stage cocktail? I don't drink a whole lot before I go on stage. Occasionally I'll have a shot of Jameson. If a bunch of people are like, hey, let's do a shot. Maybe I'll have a vodka soda or a vodka Red Bull if I'm feeling tired. I know it's not incredibly interesting, but I don't like to be too drunk on stage because it makes me feel sloshy, and I feel like I don't do as good of a show. Some of my favorite memories playing with the Riverboat Gamblers. Oh, there's a lot. I think anytime we've been overseas, that's been a real positive, exciting thing, and something that's special that I know, like, I wouldn't have got to do without this band, and getting to go with my friends and, see new places and new things. And I think any, like, really transcendent show that we've played that I felt was transcendent, that we just had, like, a great crowd and things went well, and that you walk away feeling and knowing that you did the best that you could do. That's always pretty. I know that's kind of a vague thing, but it's kind of hard to boil down 12 years into best memories. I have yet to meet too many of our South American fans. We've never been there, and we're dying to figure out how to get there. There's a language barrier that I want to figure out how to cross so we can get over there. But it's been really exciting because a lot of people from South America have hit us up over the. I get we get some fan mail, and it's awesome. I can't wait to get over there one day. We need to figure out how to do it. If anybody knows how to help, please email us, and or Facebook us or whatever, and we'll get the ball rolling. We would love to get over there. You're a huge fan of Dis 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 Kiss Kiss Kiss. Can you tell us a little bit about that song? Well, I will tell you. I like that's a song that I'm real happy about. That when we were recording that record, those guys had written all the guitar stuff, and we had everything down, and there were some vocals, and I started working on the vocals, and it was a whole different vocal melody, and it just wasn't very good at all. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good, and I really liked that song, and I knew it could be better. So one night I asked the producer if I could work late and the rest of the band went and did something. Everybody left but me, and I just sat in the control booth and just sat there and recorded a bunch of just kind of gibberish lyrics and ideas, and just sat there and messed with it for a really long time, trying to figure out a different vocal melody, and found the melody that's on there. And then when we were in LA, we called up our friend Todd from Toys That Kill and FYP and Underground Railroad to Candyland, and I think when I started working with the lyrics, I thought, like, this is a song that would be really cool to have Todd sing backups on, because he has a very distinct and cool voice, and I wanted to write the lyrics the way I thought that he would write the lyrics to the song, because he has a very interesting lyrical writing style to his songs, and I love his lyrics. That he writes way differently than I would, than my brain normally works to write lyrics. So I tried to write lyrics that I thought he would write, and I don't think that he would write those lyrics. It just it was me attempting to do him, and I think it kind of came out in an interesting, cool way. So I love, it's one of my favorite songs. I love playing that song. What's the role of the current music scene in this vision of the world? Do you think nowadays music in general serves the purpose of creating awareness, or does it serve the exact contrary purpose? Well, I think that's probably a pretty... that's a good question. And I think it just depends on what kind of music. Like, some music is very, as asking a lot of questions. And some music is not asking any questions at all. I think it's really rare, though, when a music that is asking questions isn't asking questions to the type of people that have already asked those questions, which there's a saying we have here called preaching to the choir. And I think a lot of, like, political punk bands they're not, they're asking the right questions, and they're trying to increase, awareness of stuff, but the audience has already asked those questions and has already thought about it. I don't know that it's reaching new people and getting into their minds. Now, it'd be real different if some of those questions, I think, were asked by non-pop. Like, since the beginning, like, punk rock music has tended to be oftentimes more political or thought-provoking. So it's not unexpected if a punk rock band does that. I think it would be a lot bigger deal if, like, a pop band or like a rap group or something were to ask some of those questions and have, big mainstream success. Which is the key. I think, like, a lot of these underground groups, a lot of underground audiences for different, subgenres kind of know what to expect that they're going to hear. But it'd be cool to see, I will say the one band that's probably done that is Rise Against. Has kind of, like, they've reached an audience that that maybe doesn't ask those questions. They're probably one of the bigger bands right now, and that they talk about stuff that probably is actually reaching a lot wider audience than a lot of other people. Which band would you love to cover one of your songs, and which song? Ooh, pretty good question. Wow. I'm gonna go ahead, and I'm just gonna throw it out there to him. I'm gonna give him the opportunity. I'm gonna give him first dibs. If the Rolling Stones would like to cover Soliloquy off our new album, I'm going to go ahead and give them the go-ahead. Give it a shot, guys. I know you're intimidated. I know you think, how are we going to cover a song that's considered a classic the world over? And I don't know. I don't have the answers for you, per se, but I'd like to hear what you guys do. I'd like to give you guys a shot at it. You have my blessing. Any plans of coming to South America? Like I said before, I would love to get over there. It's just trying to figure out how to make our way over there, how to financially get over there and back. Um, as soon as we know how, if there's any festivals, let's figure it out. Let's work it out. If I were writing a review about the Riverboat Gamblers, how would I describe the band? Well, that's an incredibly difficult question because, I mean, on one hand, I know we're, a rock group or rock and roll, garagey, punk rock kind of group. But, I know some of the albums sound a little bit different than the other albums that are more produced or poppy or whatever. But I'm so close to the material, it's really hard for me to be too objective about this band. And when your nose is so far deep into doing this for a living for this long, like, it gets pretty tough to be objective about it. So in answer to your question, I would describe the Riverboat Gamblers as the greatest band since the invention of music. The name Riverboat Gamblers came from it was just the idea of having a band name that didn't necessarily sound like a lot of the band names that were around in our area in rock and roll and alternative music and punk rock at the time. We wanted something that kind of stuck out and sounded a little different. And it kind of, I guess roughly the idea is to be, living by your wits and, life's a river and we have no income. Up today, down tomorrow. It's kind of how it is. People, you ask why people call me the Wookiee sensation. It's actually the rookie sensation, and as in like not a novice. And I think somebody went in and changed rookie to Wookiee on the Wikipedia page, which is actually pretty funny. And I just want to keep it. I don't know. It was rookie sensation. I think it has something to be something about me not being interested in sports very much. We have a good relationship with Rise Against. And actually, when I was referencing them earlier, I didn't even know this was going to be a question. Well, we know one of the guys, Zach Blair, plays in Rise Against, and he's a good buddy of ours. And he was in a band called Hagfish back in the day, and they were from Dallas. And there's just a lot of history between Gamblers guys and Zach, and I don't know. It's at the end of the day. It's a pretty small world, rock and roll and punk rock. There's not a ton. You start to cross paths with people, and those are good dudes. They're just real good guys. We like to hang out with them and tour with them and play shows with them. The River. As far as being on a video game soundtrack, how do we feel about being part of video games? I love it because, video games were incredibly important to me growing up. I loved playing video games, and I don't get to play them as much as I used to. I still love playing them, but I don't get as much time to do it. But I really, as a kid growing up, it was just such an important part, and it was, this really, I didn't get into sports, and I didn't have, I lived in a kind of a small town, and there weren't a lot of other people like me, so I really took a lot of solace in comic books and video games and movies and stuff like that, and getting to be a part of any of that is pretty cool. I love it. How do we maintain a healthy balance between writing, recording, touring, and family time? It's pretty tough. And you say that we have, happiness in the videos. There's definitely times that aren't quite so happy. We try and be energetic live. There's a cat. It's making so much noise. Hold on. What? Be quiet. Come in. This is Rusty. Rusty just moved in. He's a new roommate of mine. Kind of a loudmouth. He's still kind of a little weirded out about living here. But I'm sorry. Your question was maintaining a balance. It's tough. I mean, I think I'm somebody that likes to stay busy and likes to. All right, I'm gonna let the cat out. I'm gonna put this on pause.